Hey guys, Andrew Fairby here. I just wrote this blog post. Hundreds of people are sharing it. People are saying that this is the best article that I've ever written, the most vulnerable, the most shocking, the most riveting. Women are saying that they wish that their boyfriends would read this, their husbands would read this. They're saying that this is one of the most powerful articles for men, is what women are messaging me on Facebook, Twitter, and they're emailing me, and it's been awesome. I mean, I wrote this, I didn't realize it was going to be this popular, but it's basically a reflection of my 20s and the lessons that I learned. So it was originally just a journal entry for myself, just kind of at night, I was just kind of reflecting on things I'd learned, and I thought, man, it's very intimate, but I thought I would just share this article and publicly share the lessons that I learned rather than keeping them to myself. So if you click the link below in the description, you can click the actual link that'll take you to the blog post. I'm going to read through the blog post, okay? I'm going to impromptu add some more insight as I'm here, just kind of recording this for you guys. But go ahead and click on the link and read through it, and I'm going to start and begin the blog post. So I turned 29. From running from the police, being in jail and broke with $15 in my bank account to 4.0s in college, managing retail stores of 100 plus employees and falling in love a few times, to building a multiple six-figure business, speaking on stage in front of hundreds and sharing these lessons. I look back on this decade and can't help but cry and smile at the same time. Helen Keller said it best: life is either a daring adventure or nothing at all. I found that you can break whatever narrative you're stuck in and create the life that you want. The choice is completely up to you on how you want to live your life, okay? A question I often ask on my Knowledge for Men podcast is, imagine you had 60 seconds to sit with your 20-year-old self. Knowing what you now know today, what would you tell him to do and not to do? The real question, though, is the one that you should really consider here in listening to this is, would that 20-year-old self even listen to you if you gave him that insight? Why do I ask this? Because this article here is intended for two types of guys. The first guy, maybe you, who's past his 20s, and the second guy who's in his 20s and has an opportunity to make some radical life changes and to begin laying the groundwork for an amazing life. No matter which of these guys you might be, it's never too late to absorb a little bit of wisdom and mold your future into greatness. So other than smacking my former 20-year-old self in the face, this is what I would tell him. Number one, you will be heartbroken several times, but it's actually okay. Let me explain. If I married the first girl that I fell for, I would likely be divorced by now and paying for child support to a woman raising my kid with another man. Most couples will break up or get divorced by the time they hit 30 if they got together in their early 20s. Yes, even that fairy tale couple posting all their perfect photos on social media, they too will be broken up. I know it's hard to imagine. Here's the real kicker though. You won't be the same person at 20 that you are at 30. Think about that. You really don't know who you are and what you truly value at 20. So you're likely to dive into a relationship with someone who won't be aligned with who you're going to be by the time you're 30. You really shouldn't be hard on yourself if things aren't working out or you sense that you need to break up. The sooner you do it, the easier it will be for both of you. Quote, pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. Kathleen Casey. Men often settle because they are scared they are never going to find anyone else in the world who would want to sleep with them or who would love them back. But the truth is you don't have just one shot at finding this special person who you can create this feeling with. The old idea that there's only one special person out there for each of us is complete BS. And it's full-heartedly and even dangerous to try and cling into something unreal because of fear, uncertainty, or the need to make the other person happy. What about your own needs and happiness? You see, it's important to get clear on what you really want in a relationship partner and then work on becoming the type of man that woman would be attracted to both physically and emotionally. Then go where you're to likely find her, which will ultimately increase your dating success. Most guys don't go out at all, and they have this excuse that they don't have the time or they're too busy with work, or guys are just looking for women in all the wrong places like bars and clubs and these venues that have women that you really don't want to be with in the long run. When you're older, you'll really wish that you were more courageous with women when you were younger. You really don't realize how much of a larger dating pool you have in your early 20s than when you get older. It won't get any better than that. Okay, your early 20s or whatever age you're at, that is the best age to be wherever you're at right now because you're only getting older and women are only getting older. And so wherever you're at, that's the best age. You see, women when they're younger, especially in their 20s, they don't have kids. they haven't been married, and have more availability for dating. Later in life, women become more career-oriented, have kids, move to new cities for job opportunities, and have more serious obligations in their life. The pool gets exponentially smaller as you get older. Look, if there's one area of your life that would bring you the most happiness, it is in relationships. Guys, don't neglect this area with the stupid self-defeating excuses that you don't have the time or you're too busy with work. Okay, what are you working so hard for anyways? Okay, so stop lying to yourself, face your fears, and start making more moves because you're only getting older every day, and women that you would love to be with are getting taken by other men who are out there making more moves than you are. So all in all, don't settle with a woman out of scarcity. Accept that devastating breakups are a part of finding the right woman, and know that you will find love again and again. Number 2, women do not flock to you once you have more money. And if a few do, you should probably run like hell. There has been no increase in the amount of women in my life as my income has ballooned 10x from being broke to today where money really isn't an issue in my life. Women look at me exactly the same way as they should. I've heard it before, but I really didn't believe it. So you'll likely have to work your ass off for years to experience it for yourself and learn that in the end, that money is not going to bring you the women that you truly desire. However, don't want to leave you hanging here. I have found that women like it most when, number 1, you can make her feel safe and protected, which allows her to feel comfortable in her femininity. Number 2, you can create an environment that brings out the best aspects of her personally and professionally. Number 3, she can be 100% herself around you without any fear of judgment. Number 4, she's laughing uncontrollably from the belly. Number 5, you stand up 100% for yourself and your own values as well as hers. This is not at all to say that you shouldn't make money and achieve financial success right away. Just don't get confused that once you have money, like it's just suddenly going to attract the woman that you want in your life. I know too many men who say, once I am worth X amount, then I will start to focus on women. Then I can ask her out because then she'll say yeah to me, because how can she say no when I'm worth X amount? But what's really ironic here is when the guy finally does get to that point and the girl does say no, it's a huge ego blow to the guy, and it's what many men are after. If you think this way, please grab your right hand, okay, follow me. I want you to slowly lift it up in the air, and then I want you to quickly slap yourself in the face as hard as you can because you got to wake up. You gotta wake up. The women don't come in the future when you achieve some sort of financial measure, when you have this car, this house, okay? It's not like it's then, it's really what you do now. The bold moves that you're making now. You're walking by women all the time in your life. Or if you're already in a relationship, you know, you're not being the man that you want to be in the relationship today. You might be chasing some external thing and saying, I'm going after this goal for you, when, you know, right now is the time to make that relationship better. So, wake up. More money just means you'll live in a bigger house, you'll have a nicer car, shinier shoes, and a shinier watch, and be just as single swiping right on Tinder and maybe with a premium account. Look, I know a lot of 7- and 8-figure earners who struggle with women or have settled with women out of scarcity. More money won't bring you the woman of your dreams. Only your character, personality, and the bold moves that you make can really make that happen. Number 3, sex without an emotional connection is ultimately unfulfilling and a waste of time. I used to pursue the one-night wonders like it was the epitome of being a quote-unquote man. Looking back at all the women I've truly enjoyed being with, none of them have come from a one-night stand, a bar, a club, or anything associated with a European DJ. I mean, they all look the same, damn it. Although I do recommend that single men go to these places for social experience that they can gain by interacting with many women, and you know, for that invaluable experience of overcoming fears and approach anxiety. That's it. Gain the experience, have fun, but don't go looking for your future mother of your children in these venues. On the other hand, sex with someone that you have a strong emotional connection with is one of the best experiences that life offers. Okay, I would rather have experienced a few women that I deeply connected with throughout my 20s than dozens of women whose names I can't remember or where they came from or who wouldn't even recognize me if I was standing in line right next to them at a grocery store. Don't be that douchebag who's happy he hit it and is sharing her photos of her with all of his friends. Instead, go deep with a few women rather than swimming on the surface with many women who you don't have a connection with or would even care to remember. Number 4, stop watching porn. You're going to waste countless hours doing something for which you'll have nothing to show for by the time you're 30. If you took this energy and pumped it into building a business, developing a skill, meeting new women, or improving your existing relationships, you'd be much happier. Porn gives you a very screwed up view of how to treat women. It's extremely degrading and it reduces the level of deep intimacy you'll have with real women. It can desensitize you to real sex, often leading you to softer erections and premature ejaculations. I mean, all that work to finally go on a date, meet a girl, all this, you're finally with the woman, she's naked, and you can't get it up. It's like that is ruining your relationships right there. You're going to put up an emotional shield with women and really just go straight for having sex rather than listening to women, being present with women and being vulnerable with her and loving her. This will make it more difficult for you to engage in deeper levels of intimacy and depth with women, which is usually going to throw you in a vicious cycle that just breeds more breakups and divorces and right back into more porn. The University of Cambridge stated that porn mirrors that of drug addiction like meth and heroin, mainly because there's unlimited amount of novelty, it's in your pocket 24/7, and it's free. It's a dangerous drug, and it's time to get off of it before you end up buying that VR headset, a premium Pornhub account, and you're caught by your roommate or girlfriend or wife standing up on your bed, humping the air at midnight on a Saturday. Okay, that's gonna be a real scenario coming pretty soon here. Number 5, time, distance, and life will separate you and your best friends. You will grow apart from almost all of your friends by the time you hit 30 because that's just the way life is. People change. Of course, you'll have the occasional hangout, typically during the holidays when someone gathers the courage to call and set up a get together, but it won't be the same. And right now you might be thinking like, not me, not my boys were so tight. I thought the same thing too with friends that I spent every waking hour with growing up in high school and college. But the truth is people live their own lives as they should. They get new jobs, they move to another state or city, they enter new relationships, they change the way they view the world, they start families, and unfortunately even die. On the flip side, you'll make new friends that are more aligned with where you're headed and where you want to go on your journey. Look, it's nothing personal, but more of an acceptance that relationships serve their purpose for that moment in time in your life. Relationships aren't meant to last until the end of time, and if you try to force it, it could be stunting your personal growth. If they do last, great, but accept now that most won't. Relationships are really just two or more people coming together for a period of time. And when that time is over, people find a new crowd that serves them and for where they're going next. The problem is when people try and force friendships to stick, usually out of scarcity when they have clearly outgrown their social circle, but they just don't make any changes. If you find yourself having to force yourself to hang out with existing friends, maybe even being alone and staying home at night is more enticing than going out with your friends, it's likely that your values have changed. It's time to move forward and find a new group of friends who are more aligned with who you are and where you want to go. So don't get overly attached to any one person or social group and understand that this too shall pass and it's all temporary no matter how great it is today. Enjoy it while it is here and trust that you'll be able to recreate connections like these as you go on in your journey and in your life. If you do find a few really good long-lasting relationships, congratulations, okay? You've truly found people who are on your journey with you, so cherish them. Don't forget them. Don't neglect them. Don't treat them badly. Number 6, the way someone parties is a reflection of how they feel about themselves inside. Is partying every weekend really worth it? I sometimes wonder if I could see how much alcohol I drank in my 20s, what would that look like? How many cases of beer, bottles of liquor, and cocktails would that be? Would it fill up an entire bar or an entire room here? You know, and all of that has gone through my poor liver. I've come to realize that no amount of alcohol will create the feeling that you're looking for. Well, maybe for about 20 minutes, but after that, it's all downhill and you'll end up with a half-eaten burrito and you'll wake up with a hangover. So if you truly loved yourself at a level 10, okay, you love yourself at a level 10, would I be snorting cocaine? Would I be throwing down shots of tequila past 1, 2, 3 a.m.? I mean, if you're in your 20s, your early 20s, and you're experimenting, I get it, okay? But after 25, you got to ask yourself, how much more fun am I really having? How many more times do I need to keep doing this to my body? Because it really takes a huge toll on your body and your mind. Think about it. If you spend Friday and Saturday partying, that's 2 nights a week and 8 nights a month. That's 20% of the nights each month you spend intoxicated. Then the following day you're hungover. So you're likely to have like 40% of your month is spent partying or being hungover. So it's no wonder that it's difficult to chase your dreams and settle with whatever life throws at you in your 20s when this is the state of mind that you're in. Not to mention the hours that you spend doing absolutely nothing while you recover from the hangover. There's nothing like staying up until 3 a.m., getting shit-faced, sleeping in until 1 p.m., and spending the afternoon feeling sick and watching free porn all day. Does that sound like a recipe for success to you? So look, go have fun, okay? Not telling you not to have fun, but does having fun always have to equal I'm going to get shit-faced, I'm going to get fucked up, I'm going to just black out tonight, I'm going to just drink? Does fun mean I'm going to hurt my body? Or is there another way that we could be fun? Can we not just go out and be social? Can we not just go out and just take care of our bodies and go to bed at a decent hour? I think going out and having fun doesn't have to mean that I'm regularly going to damage my body, my one and only body and mind, that is. Number 7, don't cash in on your degree and be so quick to climb up the corporate ladder just yet. I encourage you to pursue what you've always wanted to do, whatever that may be, no matter how big or audacious that may sound to yourself or other people. You see, we often label ourselves and put a ceiling on what we can achieve in our lives by the time we reach our early 20s and go for whatever we think we can get from there. Quote, people will choose unhappiness over uncertainty. Tim Ferriss. This is not woo-woo new age bullshit. This is you giving the finger to that teacher who said you wouldn't amount to much, or that previous employer who treated you like crap and didn't see the potential that was right in front of them. See, when you're 30, nobody's going to give a rat's ass as to what you did during the spring semester of your college sophomore year. You'll also discover that your degree is only a formality to most people and even employers. People put way too much weight on where they went to college, or even if they went at all, and the types of grades they got. What you did in college does not define your entire life. You define it by your actions and mindset. So look, I graduated from San Diego State University with a freaking degree in social science. I still don't even know what I did in college. And today, I have people from Ivy League universities with professional degrees applying to work for me. Keep in mind that it does not hurt if you were an academic success. I'm not discounting your hard work and the talent that you do have. I'm mainly speaking to those who were not an academic success growing up, because that's the majority of most people. If this was you, I want you to know and believe that you can still achieve greatness in your life. The real world is full of humans, just like you and me. So what will matter the most is the results that you can bring to the table and how you make others feel. Suppose you own a business and you're hiring a salesperson. You have 2 guys to interview and choose from. The first is the graduate from the prestigious Wharton School of Business. The second is a guy who never even went to college and barely made it through high school. The Wharton guy is sharp and has a lot of book learning and theory studying under his belt, but has really never sold anything before. The second candidate has spent the last 7 years selling cars, timeshares, and boats, and his average closing rate is north of 50%. Which one would you hire? Exactly. You want the guy who can put results on the table. Results speak louder than anything, than any paper. If you can do these 3 things here in life, then you can go really far. I really mean it. These 3 things. I've been doing these 3 simple things here, and I've gone super far. Like if it took me 20, 30 years to get to where I am now today, I'd be extremely happy. Here's the 3 things. Number 1, take action. Number 2, be consistent with that action. And number 3, always be learning from those who have the results that you want. That's really it, okay? If you can do those things, then you can really do anything that you want in your life, and it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks of you or what your past looks like. If there was a theme title for my 20s, it would be Take Massive Amounts of Risk. Okay, so if you're reading this and you're not in your 20s, it can still be done. It will likely just have to happen between 6 p.m. and 10 p.m. because others have done it and made it happen. Okay, so don't use your current age or daily responsibilities as an excuse to why you can't move forward or progress or go after your dreams. What one man can do, another man can do. If it's been done before, then it can be done again. And there's always someone out there who's had it way harder than you with way more challenges and setbacks who's gone on to achieve great things in their lives. Also consider too that the man that you will become on this journey will redefine your entire life and also your future family's lives too, like your grandchildren and their children. Number 8, stop buying shit that puts you in a debt to look cool. Reckless spending prevents you from being free and adds more debt, which creates more stress in your life. People really like to give off that perception that they're successful in their 20s. They want to be like Zucks, Spiegel, and Bieber, young and successful, they made it. But in reality, they're really pulling their hair out every time that credit card bill comes out. They're thinking about driving for Uber or renting out their living room on Airbnb. No one really cares how much money you make. The best thing you can do is to invest in yourself, buy books, listen to podcasts, attend seminars in your field, join social groups that are committed to growth in their field and success in life. Look, your true education doesn't end when you graduate college, it just begins. So many guys are scared and hesitant to buy a personal growth course or a business training course, personal coaching, or even fly out to a seminar if it's not in their town, but they're so quick to buy a trip to Vegas and throw money at a stripper while sipping on an $18 Jack and Coke. People work so hard to attain freedom, as they should be, but what they do with their money often pushes them further away from attaining the freedom they desire because they're often blowing it on dumb shit that forces them to work harder, create more stress, and gives them less freedom in their lives. It's really an endless cycle. The dumb financial decisions that you make in your 20s, you will have to pay for in your 30s, 40s, and beyond. There's no way of avoiding that. So don't buy dumb shit. Number 9, understand the difference between gross and net. I spent much of my early life comparing myself to others, which led to constant feelings of inadequacy. Yet, what I didn't realize was that I was judging myself based off of fake personas that others were simply putting on. People talk a big game, and it's really not what you think. When people say how much they make, they often talk about the gross revenue side of things. Like, yeah, we do 7 figures. That's cool and a lot of money, okay? But what are you taking home? What are you putting in the bank? That's the true test. And that's the big question that people don't ask. Most people won't tell you their net because it's significantly lower, if not embarrassing. Quote, comparison is the death of joy, Mark Twain. And so a quick rule of thumb here is it's usually 15% of their gross. Meaning if someone says they did $1 million last year, he probably netted 150,000. And that's a big difference when you're thinking this guy is a millionaire and he's acting like hot shit in front of you, but in reality, he's pulling low 6 figures. Even in real estate, when someone says their net worth or they have a portfolio that's worth $10 million, also understand that he's likely carrying around $8-9 million in debt too. And over the next 30 years, if everything works out for him, which I hope it does, then that would likely pay off. But the guy does not have $10 million in cash in his bank, as one might think. When someone's flashy on social media, it's usually not what you think. I've met a lot of guys like this, and some of the biggest ones actually in Los Angeles and all over the place, man. Most people just aren't nearly as rich as they claim or appear to be. It's all an image. It's all a persona. It is marketing. Instead of marketing in other avenues like in direct mail or magazines or on Facebook ads, their way of marketing is by buying an image, by buying models, by buying cars, by renting and leasing a big house, or even just for the day and while they film their project, okay? They want to put on an image for you. Don't let that get to your head and let them make you feel like you're not worthy or that you're not doing well in your life, okay? I've discovered that the folks who have achieved true success, those who are really crushing it, are the simplest and most quiet about it. They don't want your attention because they don't need it. They really do have a lot of money and they don't want to attract the wrong people into their lives and are scared of getting sued because they do have a lot of assets. So the loudest and flashiest person in the room is likely a fraud who won't be around in 5 years' time, and you'll probably see him on the next season of American Greed. So while you're thinking he's hot shit, he's barely holding it together, don't pay attention to these loudmouths on social media. Just focus on you, your vision, and where you want to go. Number 10, chasing external validation is a billion-dollar lie. People try to find happiness by chasing external things that the best marketers in the world say that you need. The only way to bring about true happiness is to be truly grateful for what you do have in front of you, okay? Learn to let go of shit you can't control and spend more time with the people you love and the people who bring out the best in you. That's it. That is it. Okay, that is it right there. I'm going to read that one more time. The only way to bring about true happiness is to be truly grateful for what you do have, learn to let go of shit you can't control, and just spend more time with the people you love and the people who bring out the best in you. That is it, my friends. The more you feel the need to put on a front or seek validation from others, the more miserable you'll ultimately be. It's a trap that you'll never get out of. You'll never get anyone's validation when you are seeking it. Almost everything people do fails to bring them happiness, but they continue doing it because society says they should. When people set a goal, it's often set by society, something that was drilled into them from their past. So if you focus more on the question, why do I want to achieve this goal? Is this aligned with my values? Is this where I want to go? Like, what do I really want here? Without thinking about friends, family, social media, the internet, society, and just really look inward into yourself, you would stay more aligned to what you truly value and want out of life, which would ultimately bring you more happiness, peace, and joy in your life, rather then climbing up a ladder for decades and finally getting to the top after all the pain, sacrifice, and hard work, and realizing that this whole time that ladder had been leaned up against the wrong wall this whole time. So stop chasing happiness through external validation or material items. Number 11, how you react to an event, problem, or emotion is more important than the actual event, problem, or emotion. When a crisis occurs, what truly matters is how you look at it. Quote, every adversity contains the seed of an equivalent benefit. Napoleon Hill, the author of the classic Think and Grow Rich. Basically, every negative situation contains the possibility for something equally positive, an opportunity that you can turn into a benefit. View it as a wake-up call that needed to happen so it doesn't happen again in the future. How else are you going to grow? How else are you going to learn if you don't have challenges? Crises are a necessary ingredient to becoming a stronger, grounded man, because what doesn't kill you simply makes you stronger, okay? Show me a man with a problem-free life, and I'll show you a man who will fall to the ground and crumble when he meets his first problem. In the midst of a crisis, okay? Ask yourself, what will you do with this? What lesson can be found here? How will knowing this help me in the future? Okay? Finding the gift in every crisis is what makes you unstoppable in your life. You simply cannot lose. If problems are nearly the necessary ingredients to growth and success, like it's a part of it, like 2 parts sugar, 2 parts eggs, 2 parts flour, it's also 2 parts failure, 2 parts crises, 2 parts mistakes before you finally, you mix it up and you blend all those things and finally you get your goal. But why is it that when we have challenges and crises that we view it as a massive problem in our lives and we let it prevent us from moving forward? That doesn't make sense. The math doesn't add up there. The way a man handles himself in the heat of a crisis will really tell you a lot about the resilience and grit of that man, wouldn't you agree? Whereas some will dwell on the past for years or decades and they'll literally let it be the excuse. They'll let it be the reason as to why they are not a success in their life. They'll simply, this thing happened to me, therefore that's why I'm here. If that thing didn't happen to me, then I wouldn't be here, but because it happened, that's why I'm here. When instead we can say, because that happened to me, I'm now going to be that much stronger in my life. That's what makes me a strong, badass man. That's what's going to give me that resilience and grit when I overcome this challenge. So we got to stop searching for a problem-free life and understand that problems are a part of creating a great life. If you look at a man's problem, the size of a man's problem, that is the size of a man's life. If a guy's like, oh my gosh, I need to figure out how to lower my electric bill. That's his problem in life. It's like, Jesus, versus a guy whose problem is, how do we end poverty? Okay, wow, what a big question. How do I build an 8-figure business and build freedom for my family so they don't have to work like I had to work, so they don't have to go through what I had to go through, and I can give my kids a life and college education? That's a great question to ask yourself. Or even the death of a loved one. How can you take the lessons that person was trying to instill into you, live the spirit that person gave off, the hard work that man had, or your uncle had, or your grandfather had, and carry that on? Maybe I was beat when I was a kid. Maybe I was bullied when I was a kid. Maybe I was sexually abused when I was a kid. But now I can connect with other people who've gone through that, and I can look them in the eye, and I can help that person. That's what the world needs, is people who can take problems and turn around and help others. Like a slingshot, sometimes you have to go backward in order to go forward in life. Okay, your perspective is the one freedom that cannot be taken away from you. Use it wisely, because it'll dictate how happy you are and how much success you're going to have in your life. Number 12, you are not superhuman. When I was 20, I used to feel like I could do anything with my body. I could run forever, swim, ride bikes, go for long hikes, and I felt I could have made special forces with my mental fortitude and physique at the time. I could eat a California burrito at midnight and nothing would happen the next day. I thought I was special and that my body would literally just continue on like this forever. It certainly did not. I now have constant pains in my back, my knees, and pelvis. I still work out and exercise, don't get me wrong, but it's much harder. It's more of a chore. When I eat like crap for a week, I see it in the mirror now and I feel it the next week. My body, it really starts to expand and fat stays on much easier, and I notice it's harder to take off. I'm fortunate though that I have been working out consistently and I'm still in pretty good shape, but nowhere near where I was in my 20s. you can't be eating shitty foods like you used to. Soda, sugary drinks, concentrate juices, alcohol, and drugs. It'll all take a serious toll on your body, mentally and physically. What you're doing then affects you later. You just don't really realize it. Okay, it's not just that one day hangover and then you're all better now. That effect of drinking like that is going to play a role in your life later. And so you need to be thinking about those consequences. Hangovers last for 2 days now. It makes me feel like the end of the world is coming. It makes me feel like the apocalypse is coming when I wake up with a hangover. I used to be able to wake up and operate on 4 hours of sleep. Today, if I try that, it feels like I got smashed by a truck and the truck reversed to run me over back over again. I recommend you start now with your health and really take it more seriously. With all the diets out there, paleo, this diet, this guy's book, all this, what it all comes down to is just eat real food, okay? Just start eating more real food. Like, stop. If it comes from $1 billion company, they probably don't have your best interest in mind. If it's been processed, if it comes from this huge farm that's owned by Pepsi, I mean, come on. Do you think those guys are really looking out for your best interest and they're going to be thinking about your health and your organs in the future? They're entitled to increase the value of their shares because it's a corporation that's owned by the shareholders and that's their job, okay? Exercise 5 times a week, at least for 30 minutes, if not more. I can't tell you how important that is for your life. When you get older, exercise is no longer an option. When you're younger, exercise is like, yeah, I feel like going to the gym. Yeah, I can squeeze it in. Oh, spring break is coming up. I can, get in shape and look good real quick. But when you're older, it's a necessary part of life. It's like going to the bathroom, okay? Like you have to go to the bathroom. You also have to start going to the gym and working out. Your body, you will lose it. Like if you don't have the body that you want by 30, you're never going to get it, okay? Just statistics show that you're just going to continue. You're going to be overweight. You're going to fall into the trap of being mediocre and being overweight and diabetes, all kinds of bad things. If you continue eating bad and not working out, not getting good sleep. And I encourage you to drink more purified water and really pay attention to the water that you're drinking. Just because, we think, I live in a Western country or, I live in California, like, oh, the water must be good. It's actually not that good. You want to make sure that you're drinking the best water possible. It's actually like the cheapest thing that you can do that would provide the most significant increase in your vitality. That and sleep, water and sleep. Remember that the seeds that you plant today become the harvest of tomorrow. So the garbage in equals garbage out. The truth is guys often want to work out to look good for women, all right? That's why they work out, when in reality you should be working out for yourself so that you feel good, so that you have confidence, so that you wake up and feel like $1 billion, okay? Women really, just the truth, don't care that much about a six-pack as much as they care about how you make them feel. Your personality will always trump your abs, and a woman who thinks otherwise probably doesn't have much of a personality herself. Just run the other way. Your masculinity is not defined by any number, okay? How much you bench, all right, your weight, whatever, your net worth, it's defined by your character, okay? All in all, your body will catch up to you regardless of how strong or healthy you are today. It will catch up to you if you're doing bad things and you're not taking care of your body. So I highly encourage you to instill permanent healthy diet and exercise now. It's literally no joke. Number 13, do not go out and look for a personality to replicate. Be your own character in your own movie. A lot of men are unhappy in their lives because they are playing the extra in their own story. They are not the main character in their own story, right? They are not the lead character in their own life. How are you going to live the life you want when you are not leading your life? Learn to express yourself, have confidence in yourself, love yourself. Too many people lock who they are inside of a cage, never to be seen or heard again, and are often confused as to why they struggle socially and in relationships. Quote, "To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment." Ralph Waldo Emerson. The key is to let go of that need for external validation. Understand that you are enough and nothing is lacking. You are enough. That is it. Choose yourself and no one else to be the hero of your own life. The world is waiting for you to do this. So stop being anyone other than yourself. Let that personality out. Number 14, learn to play the long game and dedicate 5 to 10 years to one skill. You will never suck if you do something for 5 to 10 years and study and learn from the best people in that space. Okay, most people just don't play the long game and stick to things that they start. Instead, people really just drift from one thing to the next. They quit too soon and blame it on the thing as the problem and think it's the wrong job, it's the wrong relationship, it's the wrong business because it's not instantly fulfilling them. We live in this instant gratification world. The people who can say, I'm going to find a way, I'm going to figure this out, I'm going to solve this problem. Others have solved it before me, so there's no reason why I can't either. Those will be the ones who can succeed and get what they want out of life. Okay, stop pursuing only what feels good. Pursue your goals until completion, until they're done, until you meet them, until you achieve them. Keep going. There is virtually nothing that feels better than personal achievement. It's where true satisfaction and self-confidence really lies. Stop looking for what is easy and start putting in the hard work and sacrifice necessary to achieve a goal. The truth is that you will likely fail many times before you finally succeed. It would be like if you wanted to be an MMA fighter and your basis for success was not to ever get punched or kicked. Okay? You're going to get hurt in every fight, but you can still come out on top and be a champion. I mean, look at Conor McGregor. At the end of all of his fights, he's got blood all over him. You can barely see his eyes. He's bruised up, but he's holding the belt. And so if you want to win and succeed, you will get punched, you will get kicked, but it doesn't look like a punch or a kick. It looks like a bad hire. It looks like a tough conversation. It looks like not hitting your sales goals. It looks like being tired when you wake up and not feeling like going to work. Those are the punches and the kicks. You got to be willing to understand, like, look, bad things will happen, but I can still win. Because of all these bad things, can I persevere and make it happen? Can I make it happen? Can I go all the rounds? Can I show up at the end and still win? However, most people think, hey, I tried and I failed, so I must not be good at this thing, so I'm going to quit and find another thing that maybe I can instantly be successful at. That doesn't sound like a recipe for success. We all know that. But when it comes into our own lives, we don't actually do that. Cool tip here is stop viewing whether or not you failed or succeeded like it's black and white, but look for a continuous process of growth in your life. Are you taking action? Are you still in the game? Are you making progress? If so, if it's yes, I am, then you are a success. Because you're going after growth now, rather than did I win or did I fail? It's, am I still in the game? Yeah. Am I still pumping out great work? Yeah. Am I still showing up? Yeah. Well, then there you go. If you can change your relationship to what success is as to did I win or am I still in the game? Because if you stay in the game long enough and you're learning from the right people, you're going to get there. The only failure is when you decide that you are no longer going to pursue that dream and you throw in the towel. Stay in the fight. Stay in the fight, okay? Stay in the fight. Number 15, death starts to come closer to you. I lost 3 family members this year. When you're young, it's more distant. Maybe people you knew of in high school, older friends, siblings, and very distant relatives. It hurts. Okay, it's very painful, it's very sad, your condolences go out to them. Yet as you grow older, it seems like death is getting closer and closer to the people closest to you. Direct family members, close friends, people that you've known all your life. The biggest eye-opener is that it's coming closer to you. Okay, that death is an inevitable part of life, but you may not realize it when you're younger because you're so young and it's mostly been people that are very distant to you. But you realize as you get older that it's a part of life and that you're starting to age and the people that you've known who are older than you are starting to pass. And if you really think about that for a moment, the biggest eye-opener here too is that death is coming closer to you. So what are you really scared of now? What is it? Is that girl so hard to ask out now? Is that job so hard to quit? Is that business so hard to start? Is that thing you've been losing sleep over really worth losing sleep over? Stop messing around. And wake up and go live your life now. Now. Not at some distant time in the future. You know those things that you've always wanted to do? This is a sign right here, right now, of all the videos you could be watching on YouTube. You're watching this one. This is a sign for you to go do it. I'm giving you permission to go do it. It's been said that on your deathbed, you don't regret the things you did. You always regret the things that you didn't do. So this day, this week, or even this month will never come again. So make it count. Number 16, make more time and find the money for traveling. A regret that I have is turning down 2 different opportunities to travel the world, literally a 360 all around the world, and instead each time chose to launch that exciting work project instead. Looking back, I don't even remember what it was that I was so focused on, but I do have this feeling of regret that I didn't pursue the adventure when it was right in front of me. Quote, "The world is a book, and those who don't travel only read one page." Augustine of Hippo. Every time I travel, I have fun, meet new people, eat new foods, and expand my experience of life. So just don't let money prevent you from experiencing all that the world has to offer. Travel is not as expensive as you think, especially when compared to the experience and the growth that comes from it. Go book that flight now. That place that you've always wanted to go, that place, go there. Make it happen this year. 17, get the hell out of your head. You worry so much about what is likely a made-up scenario in your mind. You look like a freaking zombie when you do this. You know that, right? Life is passing you by when you live in your head. You are literally putting yourself in mental isolation from the rest of the world. Psychologists say that this is the worst thing that you can do to a human, put them in social isolation, yet we voluntarily do it to ourselves often. Get out of your head and get into the real world. The answers to all of your challenges and finding real happiness is only solved in the real world and not in daydreaming and trying to figure it all out in your head by yourself. So break the cage. Interact with the world around you. Engage with it. Play with it. Be a part of your own life rather than being an observer of it. Be in the moment more to experience all that life is offering you and all that's available to you. Wake up and live every day as if you were to die tomorrow, and learn as if you were to live forever. Well, shit. Congrats on making it this far, okay? I know that sometimes that it can be hard to hear the cold, hard truth, especially when you're young. And that's kind of the biggest and most destructive irony of being a human being, is that we rarely take advice freely that's given to us, and we often have to learn it the hard way and experience it for ourselves. But you have an opportunity right here, right now, to do something great. To change that, to change your life, to really push the boundaries of what's possible in your life. If you made it to the end this far, take in my advice. Seize the day and put aside your doubts and resist the temptation to blow off what I've shared here. It's not easy, okay? This is not the easy path. This is more the red pill. The blue pill is just go back to your life. The red pill is you're going to make serious change in your life and grab life by the horns and live the life of your dreams and go through the journey that you know you need to go on. You can commit to a life of constant growth and becoming the master of your own destiny, or you can hand over the keys, bend over, and let life cram a rusty broom up your six. Okay, suit yourself. One life leads to constant success of your own choosing, and the other life leads to a life of being a victim of circumstance and blaming others for your shortcomings for the rest of your life. If you were ever just looking for a sign to make a serious move in your life, then this is it. This is really it. Okay, you've got to be willing to make hard decisions, face rejection, face uncertainty head on, feel uncomfortable, fail often, and feel high levels of pressure in your life, because this is what is necessary for you to grow into the strongest version of yourself as a grounded man. What's the other option? To not? To settle? Mediocrity? Complacency? Being comfortable? How does that sound? Look, if you're not having doubts, then you're not pushing the boundaries far enough in your life. The amount of adventure, excitement, and success in your life is in direct proportion to the amount of risk that you take on a consistent basis. So fall forward, give it everything you got. And there's so much more that you're capable of than you could possibly imagine. It's time to let that loose, to break free out of the cage and get out of your own way. Show me who you really are. I'm not the only one waiting. So that's the post, okay? That is the 17 painful, life-changing lessons learned in my 20s that would have saved me years of hardship if I knew them back then. And this applies to men of all ages. Okay, so if you found this video impactful, share it. Let's impact more men in the world. Okay, more guys need to see this message. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm here for. I've learned some things, and this was supposed to be like a personal journal entry for myself, but I decided to share it with you guys. I think that if more people were taking control of their lives and really going after what they wanted, they'd be much happier. And even if they didn't achieve exactly what they wanted, they'll go down knowing that they tried. And I think as men, that's really important to just know that I was capable, that I tried. Like I went in the arena. And too many men are spectators of life, not realizing that this is it. Like this is really it. Like we're hitting the play button and the end of that movie is coming. And what does your movie look like? Is it exciting? Is it worth watching? Are you out there in the arena? Are you going after that woman you want? Are you living the life you want? Are you having the relationships you want? Like, because the end of the movie, it's like you're watching your favorite movie and you're like, oh shit, it's almost over. It's like, oh, it's 10 more minutes in the movie. And it's like, what about your movie? What about your life? Are you living it? So if you want to read the blog post, that's awesome. Go click on the link below, read the blog post, bookmark it, share the blog post. We can impact more people too. Video or blog post, that'd be awesome. If you want help on your journey, I offer men's coaching services to help men go from good to great, to help them step up in life, to help them overcome their fears, limiting beliefs, and create the life of their dreams. You can simply go to kfmcoach.com. That's kfmcoach.com. You can learn more about the coaching services we offer. They're available for all men. I don't care what background you're in. I don't care if you're gay, straight, black, Asian, whatever, Muslim. That's a text I just caught. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you look like. I'm here to help men who just want to step up and move forward in life. That's what I'm here for. That's what I'm doing with my life, and I want to help you. I want to meet you. So I'll end it here. Look forward to hearing from you soon. Take care. Crush the day. Have a great life.